Hi, I'm Eric Simons, and welcome to Pioneer Chat. This is where we take teachers that are pioneers in the EdTech community, and we ask them about what they're doing, what technology they're using, and what they'd like to see going into the future. And today, I'm here with a good friend and a good mentor of mine, Jennie Dougherty, who is an English teacher and a co-founder at, I can't remember, but she is the founder of Beta Classroom. And so I'll hand it over to her to tell you more about what she's up to. So Jennie, fill us in.
All right. Thank you for the intro. So I began Beta Classroom as a blog, and it was in order to reach out to the EdTech sphere and to say, hey, I'm an English teacher at an inner city urban high school, and my kids don't have the devices they need to learn the 21st century skills that they deserve to have, because they are going to be future leaders, and it's my job to give them everything that they're going to require for that task. So began with shout outs to different incubators, including the one that Class Connect came from, Imagine K-12, as well as other big companies. And from the big companies, I got nothing. But from the guys that cared and are actually creating really amazing dynamic applications, I got extraordinary feedback. I got feedback that said, hey, you're a teacher and we really care about you. And we really care what you say. And that was huge because all the technology I'd ever used in my classroom had been borderline abusive. If anything, it was mandated by admin, and it had nothing to do with my goals and objectives. It had everything to do with, meeting the expectations of federal, state, or district level obligations. So created Beta Classroom, got the shout outs, got a wonderful opportunity to beta test and speak with dynamic individuals like Eric. At the end of the summer, I realized maybe other teachers wanted to do this too. And when I sort of gave a shout out to the teacher community, was flooded with interest. Since then, it came to my attention that many of these applications require devices, and that schools like the one I work in, even if every child had a device, requiring them to bring them to school can be a very big challenge, due to the fact that it can put them at risk. When I first approached the idea of bring your own device in my classroom to use these applications, I was told by my students, but Miss, will get jumped. And that's when reality hit me that I needed to do more than just provide free apps. I had to figure out a way to get teachers the opportunity to get the devices their kids needed. Because these applications are amazing, and they deserve the opportunity to use them. So Beta Classroom became EdUpgrade, which is now sort of very much focused on providing a space where more beta EdTech applications can be tested out by teachers and really shaped by their feedback to make it work for the classroom and support the needs of our students as well as our practice.
Clearly an incredible human being, Jennie. It's really impressive. So what kind of technology are you using in your classrooms right now, as far as hardware and software?
Absolutely. So in my classroom, I've got the one computer that the school assigns, and then I've got a projector and speakers. In addition to that, I have my laptop that I bring in, a smartphone I bring in, and a iPod Touch that I bring in. Two of those were donated. And the applications I'm using, besides Class Connect, it ranged from sort of the school's email system to Socrative, Class Dojo, Goldbook, YouTube. I suppose that is technology still. It is a website.
Yeah.
And that was just this week. So every week with my juniors, I introduce actually a new technology. All of them got Google Doc accounts. They learned how to use Scribbler. Sort of really every week there would be a day that we'd introduce them to and try out a new type of technology.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool actually. It was really neat, and they were great about being. It ritualized the idea of not knowing for sure what you're doing, and being okay with that, which is really different for students. They're like, no, I need to be in control and really excited and know exactly what to do. And it was like, no, you're not going to. And we're all going to we're all going to go in this together. and I have no idea what's going to happen. I hope it's going to be great. And they sort of, it gave them ownership over the discovery process, which I think is a little bit stifled in sort of the classroom otherwise.
Yeah, well, I think that's really great, because like one of the things that is really like important, like when I'm going building Class Connect, like learning is the process of discovering and exploring, and the reason I really like that is exactly what you said. They're discovering it. So I think that's really cool. Now, actually, now I think about it, do you have problems with like your school blocking access to those resources? Because I remember when I was in high school, like we would like use different sites to store our files or whatever, and then they would block it. We'd be like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Like, come on.
No, absolutely. It is a process. So because as a teacher, you have a different settings on your account. So I'll log in with my settings and think, "Oh, this is gonna be great. We're gonna do this wonderful activity," and then find out later, I logged in and was going to use Tumblr with them, and we're going to use Tumblr to document all our sources that we found on the web really easily. And we get to the lab, and my kids log in, and they go, "Miss, we can't get to Tumblr. It won't let us." And it was like, oh, you've got to be kidding. So realized it ahead of time. I really needed to check out and really communicate to the district, sort of district level, what my needs were. So it is a bit of a process, but one that no one's ever said, "No, you can't let your kids use that." If anything, they've been, very supportive of it. And if anything, very much hoping to learn each week what's the new thing you need access to.
That's really good to hear, because at my school is the mysteries of life, why they wouldn't unblock some things, but.
Oh, and absolutely. And I think the mysteries of life are often, I've got 800 computers on fire that I need to go put out these fires or whatever it is. It's not that they don't want to, but it's a lack of time and a lack of sort of priority.
Yeah, that's a great point. Okay, so to switch topics a little bit. So what are the things that you've liked about Class Connect? Because you've been using it for a few months, and you've been using really quite a bit recently. So what have been the things that you've liked, and just kind of you like the things that you'd like to see in the direction to go?
Absolutely. So what I love about Class Connect is I can finally do my lesson planning in a way that is sustainable. I'm able to take the lesson plan itself, and I'm able to keep it in a location where I can also keep not only the documents that I traditionally would use with that lesson, so the handouts, the rubrics, whatever it is, but also the digital content. In the past, I would write down the link, and that link would be broken by the time I used it again. In the past, there was no way to embed the video. There was no way to link to the actual educational applications I'd be using during that lesson. So I'd have to, take 5 minutes to bring up another window, type out the internet address, log into it. This way, it's already linked in, and it's already sequential. I can even sort of have it there in the order that I use it. Everything I just mentioned, I had no capacity to do. If it was something like Evernote, it was, again, still limited to a storage space. It wasn't a space where I could conduct my class. Literally, it's the place I can connect to, with the title, connect to the content of, the past 100 years, the paper, and connect that with the content of the future, which is all going to be online. It's all going to be these extraordinary applications, as well as, video content, and sort of digital content as well. And that's been extraordinary for me as a teacher. It's definitely provided an instantaneous value in both time, organization, and ultimately, I think next year I'm going to enjoy it even more, looking back going, oh my gosh, this is all organized. I don't have to find that website again. Oh my gosh, I use that with this. That's a really good idea. And you know what? I can use this and this. And articles, I don't have to print them out. And I don't have to put them in Evernote and lose them forever. Right? Yeah. It can just slide so easily in. It's extraordinary.
Cool. Well, so where would you like to see it go? What are the things that you'd like to see come into it?
What I'd like to see come into it is I'd like to see the ability to see what others are doing. I'd like to see what other people are able to do with the technology, what they're doing with their lessons, and what how it is they're organizing their lessons as well. When I showed a teacher in my own department and he was checking out, he's like, oh, I would never have done that. I would never even thought to do this. And as he explained the way that he was going to structure his lessons, and the way that he would sort of set up the I guess, storage of each of the items, it was fascinating just to see, every teacher approaches their craft differently. Every teacher has got a different practice, and being able to observe that of others, there's nothing negative that can come out of it. It makes you a stronger teacher, and it creates, a collaborative space as well.
Yeah. United we teach. Cool.
Absolutely.
Well, you're super busy, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but thank you for allowing me to interview you today, and I'm sure everyone else is very happy to have listened to you as well.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Anytime.
Okay, cool. Well, you guys can visit Jennie with the link below, and until then, we'll see you next time.